10 seconds, 5 seconds. Start. In the previous budget, I had abolished the dividend distribution tax in order to incentivize investment. Dividend was made taxable in the hands of shareholders. Now, in order to provide ease of compliance, I propose to make dividend payment to real estate investment trust, infrastructure investment trust exempt from tax deducted at source. Further, as the amount of dividend income cannot be estimated correctly by the shareholders for paying advance tax, I propose to provide that advance tax liability on dividend income shall arise only after the declaration or payment of dividend. Also, for foreign portfolio investors, I propose to enable deduction of tax on dividend income at lower treaty rate. In the last budget for attracting foreign investment in the infrastructure sector, we had granted 100% tax exemption subject to certain conditions to foreign sovereign wealth funds and pension funds on their income from investment in Indian infrastructure. We have noticed that few of such funds are facing difficulties in meeting some of these conditions. In order to ensure that a large number of funds invest in India, I propose to relax some of these conditions relating to prohibition on private funding, restriction on commercial activities, and direct investment in infrastructure. In order to allow funding of infrastructure by issue of zero coupon bonds, I propose to make notified infrastructure debt funds eligible to raise funds by issuing tax efficient zero coupon bonds. This government sees housing for all and affordable housing as priority areas. In the July 2019 budget, I provided an additional deduction of interest amounting to rupees 1.5 lakh for loan taken to purchase an affordable house. I propose to extend the eligibility of this deduction by one more year to 31st March 2022. The additional deduction of rupees 1.5 lakh shall therefore be available for loans taken up till 31st March 2022 for the purchase of an affordable house. Further, to keep up the supply of affordable houses, I propose that affordable housing projects can avail a tax holiday for one more year till 31st March 2022. We are committed to promote supply of affordable rental housing for migrant workers. For this, I propose to allow tax exemption for notified affordable rental housing projects. The government is committed to make the International Financial Services Center in Gujarat International Financial Tech City is a global financial hub. In addition to the tax incentives already provided, I propose to include, among others, tax holiday for capital gains for aircraft leasing companies, tax exemption for aircraft lease rentals paid to foreign lessors, tax incentives for reallocating foreign funds in the Indian Financial System Code, and to allow tax exemption to the investment division of foreign banks located in Indian Financial System Code. Honorable Speaker, in order to ease compliance for the taxpayer, details of salary income, tax payments, TDS, etc. already come pre-filed in income tax returns. To further ease filing of returns, details of capital gains from listed securities, dividend income, and interest from banks, post office, etc., will also be pre filed. We hope to reduce compliance burden on small charitable trusts running educational institutions and hospitals. So far, there is a blanket exemption to such entities whose annual receipt does not exceed rupees 1 crore. I now propose to increase this amount to rupees 5 crores. We have noticed that some employers deduct the contribution of employees towards provident funds, superannuation funds, and other social security funds but do not deposit these contributions within the specified time. For the employees, this means a loss of interest or income. In cases where an employer later becomes financially unviable, non deposit results in a permanent loss for the employees. In order to ensure that employees' contributions are deposited on time, I reiterate that the late deposit of employees' contribution by the employer will not be allowed as deduction to the employer. In order to incentivize startups in the country, I propose to extend the eligibility for claiming tax holiday for startups by one more year till 31st March 2022. Further, in order to incentivize funding of the startups, I propose to extend the capital gains exemption for investment in startups by one more year till 31st March 2022. Before I come to my indirect tax proposals, I would like to appraise the House on GST. The GST is now 4 years old and we have taken several measures to further simplify it. Some of the measures include: first, nil return through SMS; second, quarterly return and monthly payment for small taxpayers; third, electronic invoice system; fourth, validated input tax statement; fifth, pre-filed editable GST return; and sixth, staggering of returns filing. The capacity of goods and service tax network system has also been enhanced.